What if the ancient giants of legend were real? What if the biblical flood wasn't just about corrupt humanity, but a cosmic war to destroy unnatural beings who were never meant to exist? You've heard whispers of them. The Nephilim, the giants of Genesis, the fallen ones of forbidden unions, the ancient beings that left a mark so deep that echoes of them still appear in modern myths, legends, and even conspiracy theories. Here's the short answer. The Nephilim were the hybrid offspring of fallen angels and human women. They were giants, yes, but more than that, they represented a violation of divine boundaries, a corruption of creation itself. Their existence was so dangerous that it helped trigger the flood, yet traces of them may have survived even after the deluge. We made a short film about the Nephilim. Comment your thoughts below, backhand index pointing down. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. The mystery. Who were the Nephilim? Our story begins with one of the strangest passages in the Bible. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. Genesis 6 verses 1-4. Who were these sons of God? Ancient Jewish tradition, and the book of Enoch, is clear. They were fallen angels, divine beings who abandoned their place in the heavens to take mortal women as wives. Their offspring, the Nephilim, a word meaning fallen ones, later associated with giants. But they weren't just big humans. They were hybrid beings, neither fully divine nor fully human. The sky darkens. A group of shining beings, the Watchers, stand on the summit of Mount Hermon. They have made a pact. They will descend, take human wives, and teach forbidden knowledge to mankind. One by one, they fall, a celestial rebellion. Cut to human women giving birth to unnaturally large, powerful children. Nephilim rise, towering, insatiable, violent. This is the first great corruption of the earth. In the book of Enoch, the Nephilim are described as consuming everything in sight, and they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish. And they devoured mankind. As they grew, so did their appetites, not only for food, but for knowledge and power. The fallen angels, meanwhile, taught humanity forbidden arts, sorcery, weapons of war, enchantments, astrology, and the secrets of the heavens. The earth became so corrupt that humanity cried out. And in the heavens, God heard. He flood, divine reset. Genesis 6 tells us that God regretted creating mankind because the earth was filled with violence. But if we read through the lens of Enoch, we see a deeper layer. The Nephilim's corruption was at the heart of this judgment. God commands the archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, to take action. Imprison the Watchers in the abyss, Tartarus. Send the flood to cleanse the earth of the Nephilim and their corruption. An angelic army descends into the abyss. Chains of divine fire bind the Watchers, dragging them screaming into Tartarus, a place of deep darkness beneath the earth. Cut to raging floodwaters consuming the Nephilim, massive bodies swept away, spirits rising in anguish. But here's the twist. As Enoch reveals, the spirits of the Nephilim do not die. They become disembodied evil spirits, roaming the earth, what we now call demons. The Nephilim after the flood. Here's where the story gets really strange. Genesis 6 says, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward. And in Numbers 13:33, long after the flood, Israelite spies report seeing. We saw the Nephilim there, the descendants of Enoch, who come from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes. How is this possible? 3 theories emerge. A second incursion. Some fallen angels again violated divine law after the flood. Nephilim bloodlines survived through the wives of Noah's sons. Nephilim became a term for any giant, terrifying people, such as the Anakim and Rephaim in Canaan. Whatever the case, by the time Israel entered the Promised Land, giants still walked the earth. Who were these giants? In the conquest of Canaan, Israel encounters several races linked to the Nephilim. Anakim, giants of Hebron, descendants of Anak, linked to the Nephilim. Rephaim, a mysterious race of ancient giants, mentioned repeatedly in Deuteronomy and Joshua. Og of Bashan, king of the Rephaim, whose bed measured 13 feet long. Deuteronomy 3 verse 11. Visual idea: show ancient warriors approaching the massive ruins of Bashan, the shadow of a giant figure looming in the mist. The Nephilim and modern theories. The mystery of the Nephilim didn't fade, it evolved. Today, the Nephilim are woven into multiple layers of myth and conspiracy. Ancient aliens. Authors like Zacharias Sitchin suggest the Nephilim were Anunnaki, alien beings who seeded humanity. Atlantis. Some link the Nephilim to lost civilizations destroyed in the flood. Forbidden archaeology. Giant skeletons and anomalous artifacts fuel modern legends of Nephilim remains. Even mainstream scientists acknowledge that ancient cultures worldwide tell stories of giant beings, from the Anakim of Canaan to the Titans of Greece to the giants of Norse myth. The spiritual legacy of the Nephilim. Here's the layer most people miss, the part that truly matters. 1. Enoch teaches that the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim became demons, malignant spirits that plague humanity to this day. Why does this matter? It explains the origin of spiritual evil in Jewish thought. It shows why Jesus' ministry involved casting out demons, a continuation of the war against the corruption that began before the flood. It suggests that the Nephilim story isn't just about ancient giants. It's about an ongoing battle for the soul of humanity. Will the Nephilim return? Some believe that Jesus hinted at this mystery. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. Matthew 24 verse 37. The days of Noah were days of Nephilim. And Daniel 2 verse 43 speaks of the last days. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Could this refer to another attempt to corrupt human DNA? Today, with genetic engineering, transhumanism, and rumors of alien contact, some fear that we are once again approaching a Nephilim moment. Visual scene idea. Flash between ancient giants and modern scientists experimenting with DNA. The boundary between human and post-human blurring. Ultimately, the Nephilim are not just about giants. They represent. We made a short film about the Nephilim. We've explored their origin, fall, and lingering legacy. But the story doesn't end here, and neither does the debate. Backhand index pointing right. Do you believe the Nephilim were real? Backhand index pointing right. Could they return? Backhand index pointing right. What do you think really happened in the days of Noah? Comment your thoughts below. Backhand index pointing down. And if you haven't watched our short film yet, you don't want to miss it. The truth is out there. But sometimes, the answers are buried in the shadows of ancient giants. Folded hands like, share, subscribe for more end-time revelations. Because the time is short,